This is my 2006 C220 estate, which I paid under 600 quid for back in December. The car had to be delivered to me on a flatbed as it wasn't roadworthy, nor did it even have a valid MOT certificate. I found this car online and bought it sold unseen. Now the seller did mention a couple of the issues, but not everything, as I quickly discovered.
Now I've taken a huge risk, especially as this is my first project car. In this video I'm going to go through in detail all the different cosmetic fixes I've done to the car to make this one of the best looking C-classes on the road.
Alright guys, welcome to episode 7 in this series. So in this video I'm going to go through all the little cosmetic changes and improvements which I've made to the car, and after that I'll give you a detailed full breakdown of how much all this has ended up costing me, and then my final thoughts on the entire project overall. Might as well start at the very front of the car. Now the Sport Edition came with a fully silver grille. I reckon it would look more modern and far better with the inserts painting black, like on the newer models. Now I get what Mercedes was trying to do here and make the car look a little bit more unique, but I think overall it dates it. Now a few bolts later and I've successfully removed the grille from the car. Now I could have just bought one of these grilles with the black inserts online, but we are on a budget and it saved me around £50 by doing this myself. A good 30 minutes or so later, I've completely masked off the grille. Now I may have saved some money, but it did take me a fair amount of time to get this fully masked off. Same with anything like this, as long as you have the time and the patience to do this, you will end up with a decent looking result at the end of it. With a couple of coats of the gloss black paint, followed by 2 coats of lacquer, I get the grille looking exactly what I was looking for. Remaining around the front of the car, next up I address the sorry state of the lower metal grills. All are misshapen and paint chipped. Now each of them have been pushed back into the body kit. As this is the AMG kit, these are made out of metal, not plastic, and are a couple of £100 each to replace, so we're definitely going to try and refurbish these and get these looking as good as new. All these little white dots you can see on the grills aren't dirt or anything, that's actually where the paint's come off and it's exposed metal. Now the tricky part of this restoration will be removing them without breaking the plastic clips which hold each of the grills in place. And not forgetting the centre section, which is more or less the same as the sides, maybe a little bit easier just because of its size, and there's also a little cutout for your thumb to grab it. So I've got all the grills off the car, and I've noticed that there's a couple of hairline cracks within the plastic trim. With my soldering iron, I'm going to plastic weld them. Now I do have a plastic weld kit, but it's a bit overkill for the thinness of these sections of plastic. So by simply burning crosses across the actual crack, it should be enough to hold the plastic trim together. It's a pretty simple concept really, but it's really effective. You can only really get away with this when the plastic's extremely thin. All you're doing is melting the two or bonding the two sections together. You flip it over and you can barely even notice it, and even better once I've sprayed it. Speaking of which, a couple of coats of black paint and these will look right as rain. Yeah, don't worry about what the paint's doing to my lawn. And here's the final result. Now what I didn't film is actually bending or manipulating the mesh back to its original shape. It's kind of tricky to film, but yeah, all I did was by hand and with a couple of tools, just get rid of all the flat spots and get it curved as it looks when the panel was new. It's not 100% perfect, there's a few tiny little raised bits, but compared to how it was before, you barely even notice, they look brand new. And here's the final result, a complete refresh of the front end of the car, and all it cost was a small amount of spray paint. Rest of it was just time. Back inside the car, there was one area which definitely showed off the car's 173,000 miles. It was the sorry state of the steering wheel. Now looking at it, you'd think that it was actually covered in mould here. I initially did when I bought the car. So a deep clean of the wheel revealed that it was just actually the paint which was coming off, and doing a deep clean it literally came off in my hands. Now rather than fork out at least over £100 for a new second-hand steering wheel, I just used some steering wheel restoration kit. These are a multi-stage kit comprising of cleaner, some black dye, and then finally some top coat or lacquer. Once the wheel was fully clean and dry, I applied the black dye, building up in layers and applying gently, one section at a time. Slowly dabbing enough to allow this paint to absorb into the wheel. Allowing 15 or 20 minutes between each layer, enough to allow the paint to dry, I slowly built it up until it started looking like a proper wheel again, really good condition. Now you notice it hasn't got a shine to it yet, that's because we have to wait for it to fully dry before applying the top coat or lacquer. Now the key with this is to build up a layer at a time, so you make sure you cover the whole wheel and then let it dry and rinse and repeat a couple of times until we start building up a shine like so. Pretty impressive, eh? Now this shot here was taken around 6 months after I actually applied this, so it's held out really well, none to come off my hand, and it's far cheaper than getting a replacement wheel. Continuing the theme of smartening up the appearance of the exterior of the car, the wipers were completely sun damaged, which had turned all the black plastic trim grey. Now an easy solution to this would have been to just apply some wipes which temporarily darken the plastic for a week or so. Not me. Now I completely removed the wipers fully off the car and then sprayed them with some black plastic trim paint. Now, I do this with all my cars, which completely refreshes them, making them look as good as new once again. And in addition to the wiper blades, I always do the exact same process on all my cars for the front number plate plinth. Now it's amazing what a difference all these little changes do. By painting all the grey faded plastic black, it really freshens up the appearance of the car. And here it is once finished, looking matte black and as good as new. The next part of the car's restoration were both rear arches. These both had visible surface rust on both sides, which is a common fault on this vintage of C-Class. I used an angle grinder to remove all areas of rust before I used filler and a sander to get the metal flat and smooth, and then I sprayed them for the perfect finish. Now I've created a separate how-to video on the channel detailing this entire process. Go and take a look at it after this video. Okay, so I spent the entire video, as well as most of the series, without addressing the main reason why we got the car, which of course is our Labrador, Fred. Hello, Fred. How you doing? Yeah, so the car is perfect size for him. I guess ideally probably should have got an E-Class estate really, it's a lot bigger, a bit more space, but he seems to be all right in it. We still haven't addressed the issue we've got with the dog guard. He still wants us to kind of climb up at the side, so we don't even use it anymore. What we're doing instead is using this kind of the luggage loop, putting his lead in it. I've replaced the separate replacement carpet, like a mat down, just to protect it, and then it's not really a problem with the car, but this dog hair gets absolutely everywhere. But yeah, otherwise he gets in the car perfectly well and gets out as well. See, for the most part, all good. So yeah, that's the main reason why we even got the car, and it's working out perfectly. Alright, so now that the car's completed, it's about time I actually went over costs. Now we're, 7 episodes in and I've never actually addressed this, and I have seen a number of comments in the section below each video asking me what the breakdown of the cost is. So, the car originally I found on Facebook Marketplace for £1,000. It was the AMG kit version, but it was kind of a non-runner, so I managed to haggle them down for £600, which I thought was fairly good for I wanted a diesel 2.2 with the AMG kit, the Sport Edition. So yeah, £600 for that. The car was located the other side of the UK. I don't have my own trailer, and I don't know anyone. None of my mates have got one, so I had to hire a guy, that was an extra £200. Obviously, if the car was local, I wouldn't need that, so I'm going to put a little asterisk next to that cost. But for now, we'll include it. As soon as I got the car back to mine, I put it through to my garage and got it MOT'd, or sorry, put it through an MOT test. That was £54. Now, inevitably, it's going to fail immediately, but it would give me a full breakdown of everything I need to fix on the car. Inevitably, there were the things that weren't declared when I bought the car, but there we are. So it immediately became apparent, and I knew anyway that all the suspension and everything needed replacing. So one of the front springs was actually completely snapped. So what I did, I bought an I-back lowering spring kit, lowers the entire car down 3 centimeters, and that was £210, which actually was pretty much the same price as OEM. So get the whole car lowered for the same price, excellent. Added to which, we needed the suspension struts, got a pair on the front, which were £283. A new front anti-roll bar, which was £72. Now, on any other car, you just replace the bushes. No, not on Sport Edition, you have to replace the entire bar. If you check out my video, I'll go into detail about that. That was £72 for the anti-roll bar. Then I had a pair of control arms, which are £49 each. And then a front drop link, which was £38.26 in total. Now, all the suspension sorted, and then moved on to the brakes. So needed full set of brake discs all around. Front pair were £129 for the two, and the rear were more expensive for some reason. They were £168.62 for a pair. Added to which, the pads were £41. So the whole car's sorted at this point, and yeah, put it through an MOT again, which was obviously another £54 because I didn't do it within the, I think it's a week or however long it is. It was a couple of months later. While I had them MOT at the second time, I asked them to do a full oil flush, which was £65. Yeah, I could have done the oil change myself, but it's just easier. I haven't got anywhere to dispose the oil. I have to go down the recycling centre. Just get them to do it. It's fine, £65. Okay, afterwards, driving around for a couple of weeks, then the starter motor failed. So that was a £77 for a new starter motor. Yeah, I went for the kind of the cheap aftermarket version. I could have replaced like for like and got another Bosch unit, but that would have been £300 or £400. And actually, I think it was even more than that. So I just went with a starter motor, kind of unbranded, and it should be fine. So all sorted. The car seemed to be working fine. Got through MOT, and then I had the dreaded gearbox issue. Now, I managed to source online from Mercedes-Benz of Edinburgh, of all places, on their eBay shop. I got the gearbox flush kit. Now, that included the 5 litres of ATF fluid, the sealant, the new gasket, as well as the transfer plate, I believe it's called, the whole kit, the whole caboodle. And then I took it to my garage to do, because although I've got some of the tools, for this job, I got them to flush it out and do everything, which is £185. Now, not only did they flush it out, they cleaned all the wiring loom, they checked whether it went up to the control unit for the gearbox, which is a common issue. But yeah, I'd say £185 for that. So yeah, the costs are mounting at this point, and it was kind of just over £2,000. It's kind of exactly where I wanted to be. So with the car completely sorted, I wanted to start modifying it. So I managed to source a C220 AMG rear box off Facebook Marketplaces, and I managed to get it for only £50. Cleaned it up, excellent condition. Added to which, I needed a full set of exhaust hangers as a replacing that, which was another £20. So that's all sorted with that, and then I wouldn't leave the car alone. I wanted to modify it again, so I replaced the alloys and got some AMG Style 3 18-inch ones off a Facebook Marketplace. They were £250, but they were in a terrible state, and one of them was actually letting air out. But added to it, all the tyres on those new alloys were terrible. There were cracks in them, awful. So they got a full set of Nankang tyres for the wheels, plus the refurb, that was £750. I could, well, what I'm trying to do at the moment is sell the existing wheels which are on the car for 300, 250, maybe that kind of region. If I get 250 quid for them, that brings the total cost that I've spent to...
So an update since I recorded this footage, I actually managed to sell the old 17-inch wheels for £300, which brings the total amount spent on this entire project to £3,036.88. Not forgetting, if I also didn't require the trailer and to get the car delivered to me, I could have knocked off another £200 off this overall total.
Now, £3,000 for a 19-year-old Mercedes. Now, a lot of you out there will be like, what on earth have you done? I could have bought the newer shape, probably stretched to a W204 estate for that money. However, the car now is completely sorted. The gearbox is all sorted, the brakes all sorted, it's had a service. brand new brakes, brand new suspension, and I know the history. I've replaced everything myself. I know I have the knowledge that the car's going to be fine for hopefully another 5-10 years with no other mechanical issues. Now, I hear you screaming at the camera, what about labour? Yeah, I've done a kind of wheeler dealers here and haven't really included the cost. Now, myself and my friend Ed have done all the work to the car. I say myself, Ed's pretty much done the majority of the kind of, no, I tell a lie. He's given me the knowledge. We've both done it, but he's the one with all the tools and all the knowledge of how you do this. So, and his payment was just beer tokens. So yeah, if you were taking this to a garage to do it, you could probably add on a couple more grand to that cost. It wouldn't be financially viable at all to get a garage to do this. But as a DIY project, I think £3,000 roughly plus beer tokens, you're looking excellent. I think it's worked out fantastically. I've got a car that I can completely rely on. I can take it wherever I want, carry the dog around with no issues whatsoever. I'm over the moon with the car, and I can get up to 60 to the gallon to it. It's got to the point now where I rarely use the SL. The SL's become, I guess, what it was sort of designed for. It's a weekend toy, whereas the estate I'm using it all the time, and if I do damage it or scratches the car, it's not the end of the world. The car doesn't, you know, it's what, 10% of the value of the SL, probably even 5% of the value of the SL. So yeah, it's in a good place, and we may even be taking it on a long European road trip, so watch this space.